Something strange is happening in 2025. Americans are coming to Malaysia for short trips, and somehow, they just don't leave. They arrive with plans, deadlines, and return tickets, but the moment they land, something in the air shifts. It's not just another vacation. It feels like an emotional reset, a pause that turns into a new beginning. At first, it starts like every other adventure. A few selfies at the Petronas Towers, a weekend in Langkawi, a taste of street food at Jalan Alor. But then they realize something deeper. This isn't a place they want to leave behind. It's a place they want to stay in. They notice how Malaysia makes life easy without even trying. You don't need to struggle to fit in, everything just works. People speak English, the transport system is smooth, and the pace of life feels like a gentle rhythm instead of a race. Americans used to the stress of the US economy suddenly find themselves breathing again. Rent isn't crushing, groceries aren't shocking, and there's always time for a meal with friends. Life in Malaysia isn't about surviving, it's about living. For many, the cost of living is the first surprise. You can have a beautiful apartment in Kuala Lumpur with skyline views for what a studio in New York costs. You can enjoy a full meal from a hawker stall for less than a coffee back home. And the quality? It's better, fresher, richer, more human. But what truly hooks Americans isn't the affordability, it's the feeling. Malaysia doesn't just welcome you, it embraces you. Locals wave when you pass, taxi drivers chat with genuine curiosity, and you feel noticed, not invisible. That kind of warmth is rare in today's world. Something changes when you realize strangers care. When the person serving you nasi lemak remembers your order the next morning, or when a shopkeeper chases after you just to return your phone, that's not customer service. That's humanity. Just a few weeks ago, a video went viral in which a tourist dropped her phone at a street market in Kuala Lumpur. A local shopkeeper not only found it but ran after her through the crowd, returned the phone, and firmly refused any reward. That video captured what words can't, the everyday kindness that defines Malaysia. For many Americans, that simple honesty is overwhelming. They're not used to it anymore, and that's exactly why they stay. In America, people often talk about freedom. But in Malaysia, they actually feel it. Not political freedom, emotional freedom. The freedom to walk outside without fear, to smile at strangers without suspicion, to breathe without tension following you home. If you enjoy discovering how countries are transforming like this, consider subscribing, because stories like these deserve to be seen. Then there's the food. Once Americans taste the mix of Malay, Indian, and Chinese flavors, it's game over. Street food becomes a daily adventure, spicy sambal, creamy laksa, smoky satay. Every bite feels like culture. They start skipping restaurants and exploring markets instead. They eat with their hands, chat with locals, and discover that food isn't just about taste, it's about connection. You can't have a bad day when you're surrounded by food that good. But Malaysia isn't just about pleasure, it's about peace. People live slower here. Morning coffee isn't rushed. Traffic feels calmer. There's time for sunsets, time for laughter, and time for silence. Americans used to multitasking start learning to just exist again. Digital nomads are leading this shift. They're realizing Malaysia gives them everything they dreamed of: high-speed internet, vibrant culture, tropical scenery, and genuine community. It's not an escape, it's an upgrade. The balance is what makes it magical. Malaysia is modern but humble, advanced but respectful. Skyscrapers rise beside temples, mosques, and rainforests, and somehow, it all feels in perfect harmony. That visual contrast touches Americans deeply. It's a reminder that progress doesn't have to erase tradition, they can coexist beautifully. And maybe that's a lesson the world needs now. Safety is another powerful reason they stay. In 2025, when safety concerns are rising across the US, Malaysia feels like sanctuary. You can walk through night markets alone, ride the train at midnight, or explore quiet alleys without worry. That peace of mind is priceless. For many, Malaysia becomes more than a destination, it becomes therapy. The chaos they carried from home starts dissolving. The noise in their head quiets down. They begin noticing details again: the rain tapping on windows, kids laughing in parks, the smell of street food after sunset. They fall in love with that simplicity, the kind that doesn't need explanation. It's the peace they never knew they needed. Even the weather feels like a gift. Sunshine nearly every day, tropical rain that cools the heat, skies that look painted at dusk. There's no winter blues, no gray cold mornings. Every day feels alive, and that energy reflects in how people live. Americans find a new rhythm here, one without alarms, one where happiness isn't measured by productivity. They realize life can be full without being busy. They start forming friendships they didn't expect. Locals invite them to celebrations, neighbors bring food on holidays, strangers strike conversations that turn into friendships. Malaysia's kindness has a way of turning visitors into family. And once you experience that kind of belonging, leaving becomes almost impossible. Because when you go back, silence feels louder, smiles feel rarer, and the world seems colder. Many Americans describe Malaysia as what the American dream used to mean: opportunity, safety, community, and hope. It's ironic but true. They come searching for adventure and end up finding peace. Malaysia also gives them something money can't buy: time. Time to think, to breathe, to feel alive. For retirees, it's a haven. For students, it's a discovery. For digital workers, it's the perfect balance of comfort and inspiration. Every kind of American finds something different here, but the outcome is the same: they stay longer than planned. Even those who leave can't stop thinking about it. They scroll through photos, miss the street sounds, the smell of rain, the calm mornings. It's like leaving a part of yourself behind. They talk about how Malaysia changed their idea of success. Back home, success meant bigger houses, busier schedules, and constant competition. But here, it means mornings with no rush, evenings filled with laughter, and weekends spent exploring islands instead of emails. Some Americans start small businesses here: cafes, yoga studios, or eco-lodges, not for profit, but for joy. They say Malaysia gave them the courage to dream again, to work with purpose instead of pressure. Others volunteer, teaching English or helping local communities. It's their way of giving back to a country that gave them peace. And the gratitude they receive in return makes them stay even longer. There's also the creative energy that flows everywhere. Artists, writers, vloggers, and photographers find endless inspiration in Malaysia's contrasts: old and new, modern and natural, calm and electric. Every street, every festival, every sunset feels like a story waiting to be told. For families, it's the safety and community spirit that win their hearts. Parents talk about how kids can play